All right, we are going to go ahead and get started. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for today's public hearing for the OLCC 2024 Marijuana Legislative and Technical Rules Package. My name is Nicole Blase, and I am the Rules Coordinator for the Oregon Liquor and Cannabis Commission. Today is November 18th, 2024 at approximately 2:04 p.m. and this public hearing is being held virtually. If I could just interject and please ask that everybody keep your microphones on mute so that we can hear everybody clearly today who's providing testimony. Thank you, we appreciate it. The purpose of a public hearing is to give interested persons a reasonable opportunity and/or personal comments prior to the adoption of permanent rulemaking. This afternoon's hearing is being held in accordance with Chapter 183 of the Oregon Revised Statutes, otherwise known as the Administrative Procedures Act, Division 1 of Chapter 845 of the Commission's Administrative Rules, and Division 1 of Chapter 137 of the Oregon Administrative Rules, otherwise known as the Model Rules of Administrative Procedure. Please be advised that today's hearing is being recorded. During this afternoon's hearing, we will accept comments from anyone who wishes to submit them. If you wish to submit written comment after today's hearing, you may do so provided that all submissions are received by 12 p.m. on Friday, November 22nd, 2024. And I will put our rulemaking email address in the chat for this hearing in the event that you don't have it. You may by emailing our rulemaking inbox in accordance with OAR 137-001-0040. All public comments received on this matter, whether in the form of written document or oral testimony, will become a part of the permanent rulemaking record. Here is a summary of the proposed rules for the hearing today. The Oregon Legislature passed House Bill 4121 during the 2024 Oregon legislative session, which has several provisions that require agency rulemaking to implement. Further, the agency must also undertake rulemaking to respond to changes within the industry. The topics which require OLCC rulemaking are presumptive marijuana testing methodology related to ODA regulation of hemp growers, standards for artificially derived cannabinoids in the general market, hemp product registration and labeling requirements, hemp minor decoy operations, and temporary worker permits. We did also want to point out one small change in Rule 845-025-5520 that was noticed after we posted the notice of proposed rulemaking by staff. This small change allows the OLCC to revoke a temporary worker permit for an incomplete application. The change was sent to our Rules Advisory Committee for comment, and if anyone joining us today would like to see the proposed rule change, you can email us at the agency rulemaking email to receive a copy. And as a reminder, the public comment period for this rule package will end this Friday at 12 p.m. As stated in the notice, the hearing will end at 3 p.m. if no interested parties have emailed us or interjected to offer comment today, or 5 minutes after the last oral comment has been recorded into the record. I will keep the meeting open and recording until approximately 2:20 to 2:30 to hear testimony. If we do not receive any emails or if no one interjects to provide comment, we will close the meeting. At this time, we do not have anyone signed up to give testimony. Is there anyone who's joined the call today that would like to provide testimony for the public hearing record today? You can use the raise hand function in Teams or interject if you're calling in. Anybody who's joining us that would like to provide testimony today? All right, please interject if anybody would like to provide testimony for the record. I will go ahead and keep the meeting open and recording until We'll say 2:20 for now and see if I receive any emails. And again, please interject if you'd like to provide testimony. We will keep the meeting open for another 10 plus minutes to see if anyone joins us late. Thank you.
Hello. I can't find the raise hand function here.
Oh,
This is Jason Lampman. Could I speak?
Absolutely, Jason. If you would be so kind to introduce yourself for the record, please go ahead.
My name is Jason Lampman. I just had a few comments on some of the rules. It was, let me find here. Trying to figure out which. It would be number packaging and labeling pre-approval 7160. I read that it was that after 3 revisions, it would be pushed into denial. And I mean, I understand that. I'm sure too much back and forth is just a major waste of time.
Yes, I just want to make sure I could get onto it before I forget.
If I could interject and please ask that anybody on the call, please go on mute. We can't hear those providing testimony. Thank you. Go ahead, Jason. Thank you.
Thanks. I just wanted to say I guess I would ask for the 7160 number 6. I do see that it actually does have a reconsideration, which I do appreciate that. But I just, having gone through the new camp system and having some back and forth, I'm at a point in my business where I'm having other people create my packaging, and these companies, initially it's easier to work with people that understand working with the OLCC, but after camp came on, I feel like I already went over the 3. I would have already had been denied this, and then having to do more paperwork, I guess, to try to get this. I guess what my point is that it would be nice to have maybe a little bit more than 3 tries, because I feel like I went over that, and the main reason wasn't because I didn't understand the rules, but it was simple. The one of the ones was a simple word it was a difference of and or for something about driving a motor vehicle or something like that. So just possibly a little bit longer, or maybe that possibly the problem was, I'm trying to remember back, it was a while ago when camp started, but it was also that maybe they went one at a time. I don't know, maybe they give you a full list now, but I guess I'm just worried about, I understand that you guys don't want to waste time either. So just, if it's possible to change that or give us a little more leniency, not really a problem, just a comment about that, just a little help, The other section was, it's in here a couple of times with the pre-kindergarten in the rule where it says that it can't be within a certain distance of a pre-kindergarten. I didn't see on here that it was, is there, I don't know if I can ask questions in this, but if there is a grandfather in for existing businesses. I don't think that there's any protection for existing businesses. I don't see in here, maybe, but my only concern is that I don't know if you remember, in my neighborhood specifically right here, we were in the New York Times for a winery who had a problem with with they had a made up science story that said that the terpenes were affecting their sales, and it turned out through going up all the way through the court system that it wasn't true. And then at the same time, there was a person that saw that lawsuit go on and said and put out a webinar that said if you want a cannabis farm to be removed from your neighborhood, all you have to do is this, and they'll never be able to afford it. So I guess with the pre-kindergarten, I wonder if there's a way to protect businesses that are there so they don't get hurt by somebody who is just going after them. If that's possible, maybe it's not possible, but that is a concern that I've lived through. People just attacking cannabis businesses. And the last comment that I had was on section 12, 10, 11. I'm sorry, I'm going to put my phone, I can't find it right now. I'm going to put my phone on mute. I may raise my hand in a second. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jason. Yes, let us know if you have any follow-up to that. And just as a reminder for those joining us, today's hearing is for providing testimony. If you have questions about the rules package, we are happy to answer those after the hearing offline. But today is for providing testimony for the rules package. Is there anybody else that has joined us that would like to provide testimony today? It looks like Chris Canna has their hand raised. Chris, could you please introduce yourself for the record?
Yeah, hello. My name's Chris Cranfill, and I'm with Canna Soothe. I'm ODA licensed hemp handler and an OLCC hemp handler as well. And I would just like to comment as far as the rulemaking package for the cannabis labeling or the hemp labeling, that if I don't know if I haven't read all the way through the whole thing, but if there's a possibility to have an exclusion in there for us that already have had labels approved through CAMP and be able to have that count as our pre-approved labeling so that we don't have to resubmit through another system, kind of similar to how we have to deal with the ODA and the OLCC already, and just be a lot more of a streamlined process because I only primarily deal with dispensaries here in Oregon. I don't really sell in like the new seasons in the grocery markets just because it's a little bit easier. And that's all.
All right. Thank you, Chris. Greg Anthony, can you please state your name for the record?
Greg Anthony. I'm not sure if Rule 845-025-7520 applies to bulk hemp products being shipped in and out of the state, refined goods, or bulk hemp, but the UID tags would make it extraordinarily cumbersome. And also, I think that process and adding extra expense would probably drive a lot of business out of the state, including my own.
Hi, Greg. Are
Agree.
you, I think you might have frozen a little bit. Are you through providing your testimony?
Yeah, I'm just saying the UID tags related to hemp specifically would make it extraordinarily cumbersome to the hemp businesses and manufacturers, and likely, you know, significantly impact and not make us competitive nationwide, and would significantly impact businesses.
All right, great. Thank you, Greg. Is there anybody else on the call that would like to provide testimony today? Yes, Evie, could you please state your name and affiliation for the record?
My name is Evian Cotin, and I have worked within both the OLCC regulated license for over 7 years, and within the ODA within the hemp business for over 7 years. And I'm deeply concerned about the OLCC's using UID tags on hemp products within the Oregon market for incoming and outgoing for bulk actives, and I've spoken to lots of other manufacturers that are deeply concerned and looking about moving their businesses out of state. So I feel like the overreach of compliance that has really hurt the Oregon marijuana industry could also be happening with the hemp. I've watched the hemp market in Oregon slowly decrease. I lost the majority of my clients when some of the former rule change happened. We went from planting 3 million seeds a year to planting like a tenth of that. And then now I'm concerned that a lot of this, what's left of the hemp industry here is going to be kind of decimated by these rules currently with the 4121 bill. So there's multiple concerns. I know there are some lobbyists and manufacturers that weren't able to make it today, but the biggest one is for the 845-025-7520 because it impacts the use of the UID tags will impact out-of-state manufacturers and refiners that ship into Oregon as well as out. So we need a little more clarity on whether that applies to finished goods, work in progress, hemp products, etc. So thank you. And just general chain of custody, the clarity on general chain of custody and how that will impact inventory tracking to like ensure the transparency. You know, obviously we want to remain compliant. And then also I'm trying to find the other, there's one about the caps. I don't think it's on here, so that might be a separate meeting. But thank you, I appreciate your time.
Thank you, Evie. Is there anybody on the call that would like to provide testimony for today's public hearing? All right, I will hold the meeting open for another 5 minutes, and if no one else has joined us that would like to provide testimony, we will conclude the hearing. Emily Porter.
Hello, my name is Emily Porter. I work with Latitude Management. I just wanted to also speak about the pre-kindergarten and kindergarten setbacks as they're proposed. I see in the notice that was released that OLCC said that they did not find any licensed premises that would be impacted by this new rule. Unfortunately, that is not what we're finding. And I spun around in a few different places of trying to figure out what a licensee would do if they were impacted by this. I see that there's, existing rules and regulations and statutes that give opportunity for retailers who are not within 500 feet. If they are within 500 feet, there's a few different options, but unfortunately, in the instance where a retailer was granted a license and there was already a pre-kindergarten or kindergarten facility within 500 feet of them, the OLCC granted that license to them and the rule is changing now. They are not protected. If they were to receive a license and then a pre-kindergarten facility started leasing a building or bought a building within that setback, they are protected. My concern is that there does not seem to be any protection, or as another caller stated, grandfathering in for these retailers. And it would be exceptionally expensive, especially for licensees who have purchased real estate to move. That is my main concern, is that I'm not seeing that verbiage and that protection for existing retailers. Perhaps it can be adjusted. I'm looking at ORS 475C.105 specifically. I'm just really hoping that that is taken into consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. Is there anybody on the hearing that would like to provide testimony today? Jason, please state your name again for the record.
My name is Jason Lampman, a a producer with the OLCC. So I was thinking about Division 25, number 1230, the rule that is put in for the same physical location or address as a medical marijuana grow site. And I was just going through the exemptions of section 6 of Measure 91, and it was I guess section 6 of Measure 91, number 2A, specifically states that it does not apply. The exemptions or the powers do not apply to a person acting within the scope or compliance of the OMMP program. And maybe there was a an OLCC employee named Owen or Mr. Owen who really explained something really well when I had a question before. So possibly this same physical location or address is solved by having an identifier on a building. I hope that that's okay. That would be great if that was the case for that, because I just, after a personal experience I've seen that I went through, I just think that we should be able to have medical marijuana grows at the same location on farmland. I'm not allowed to put another address because you're not allowed to split on EFU land, split it to be smaller. So I hope that that could be taken into consideration, especially since I've seen, I read an OHA PDF that said there's really, there was that I think 3,000 of the registered growers are all just growing for themselves or just one group of plants. And there's only 50 that are going above that, I believe. So I don't see it as a problem of people growing for themselves, especially medically for family members. We have a hardship clause in for our property too. It would just be really helpful for some medical patients that we have. So thank you.
Thank you, Jason. Is there anybody who has joined the public hearing that would like to provide testimony today? Last call for testimony for today's public hearing for the OLCC 2024 marijuana bill and technical rules package. Yes, I see Chelsea has their hand up. Could you please state your name and affiliation for the record, please? Chelsea, you are on mute if you are talking.
Sorry, I couldn't get unmuted. Hi, my name's Chelsea, and I work in the ODA hemp industry as a hemp handler and processor. And is it possible to ask a question for clarity on the rules, or is this only for testimony?
So this public hearing is just for testimony today. If you would like clarification on any of the rules, we're happy to answer questions after the hearing offline.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. Is there anybody on the call that would like to provide testimony today? This is last call. All right, we are going to go ahead and conclude today's hearing. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us and provided testimony today. Oh, okay, I see a hand up from Jeanette.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, I could not get unmuted. Hi, I'm Jeanette Hawkes, and I am a ODA with a hemp handler's license. I do processing for the ODA and hemp space. And my concern is the interstate relationship we have with the hemp industry. When the tagging, so if I'm getting a concentrate of cannabinoid, but I'm getting it from a different state, says, do these rules apply? Anyway, the point is, I think it's going to be very difficult for us hemp manufacturers that deal with most of our, I think all of my clients are out of state. So it's going to be difficult to figure out the out-of-state thing, especially I'm reading the rules and, it's very confused. It just, I get very confused on the whole interstate situation. So that's it.
All right. Thank you, Jeanette.
Mhm.
Once again, I will do a last call for public comment today for the public hearing. Anybody on the call who would like to provide testimony today?
Not inter-hour.
All right. We are now going to conclude the hearing. The time is now 2:29 p.m. Just another reminder that written comments must be received no later than Friday, November 22nd by 12 p.m. To our OLCC rulemaking inbox. And yes, again, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to reach out to us for clarification or otherwise. But thank you again, all of you, for your interest and participation, and have a great rest of your day.